This episode brought to you by MeepleRealty.com, your source for high-quality custom board game inserts. Meeple Realty, think inside the box. Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we are finally bringing you the unboxing of Kingdom Death Monster version 1.5. I'm very excited about this. This is a game that really grabbed my attention a year ago during the Kickstarter for the 1.5 edition, and I managed, with the help of some friends, to gather up the funds and kickstart this game. So yeah, very cool. Let's get this. The box is what, 22 pounds, 21 pounds, something like that. Let's get into it and see everything that comes in this box. All right, so here we go. Now this is the core game for Kingdom Death. As you can see, it barely fits in my screen, but I've got my tripod up as far as it'll go, so we're gonna have to just kind of move around. You can see I've got Mage Knight here to kind of give you a comparison for how gigantic this thing is. So there we got Mage Knight, and which, by the way, is a fantastic game. If you haven't played it, I've got a couple of gameplays up. You should check that out too. But let's get into this box. All right. Now, normally I don't open the packaging right out, but since, normally I'd pull the box out and that's where we'd start with the unboxing. But since this was actually clearly shipped in Kingdom Death specific packaging, I figured I'd show you the whole thing here. So let's get the rest of this out. And obviously no spare space. They have it in here tight. Oh boy. Woo! That's heavy. I don't know if you can see. There is a there we go. Now you kind of see it. There's that just faint. I believe that guy's called the Watcher, is who's on there. Let's see the back of this real quick. There we go. Just some of the famous Kingdom Death artwork. You can see mature content, 17 plus, 1 to 4 players. And variant rules for up to 6 players. All right, well, let's get into the rest of this. So this, obviously, a box is heavy. So this is over 21 pounds. The construction of this needs to be even more sturdy than your normal box, and that is, it feels very sturdy. So we'll see how well it holds up over time. All right, so miniature assembly. Yeah, they actually have some of the miniatures available for you to watch how to assemble them at the Kingdom Death website. So let's get into this. Whoa. All right, so watch out for that. Obviously, that's not going to be the best method for taking that off, I guess. Let's pull from this side, see if I have a little better luck with that. Glad I was pulling that slow. That wouldn't have. Okay. Woo! Oh boy. I've watched some videos of this, but nothing quite prepares you for just how many pieces there are. Here's a ton of bases for all the various possible miniatures. Obviously, here's the big guy right here. I'm pretty positive this will be for the Phoenix, I think it's called. What else we got? And then you've got some of these with the faces. That's really cool. Just a ton of these bases. Now, I'm not going to pull all of these sprues out of this box, but let's... Looks like these are going to be some of the survivors. And you can see, obviously, over here we've got some of the Phoenix, or whatever it's called, going on. Some really nasty looking claws there. There's just so much in here. Not sure who that's going to be. Who we got here? It's going to be one of the... Well, I don't know. Man, that's like... Obviously, that looks like... I don't believe that's one of the big bads that I've seen, so maybe that's one of the survivors? I mean, I'm definitely going to be going to the website to get some direction on all this. Let's see what we've got. This one down here looks like we've got some weaponry. Definitely some survivor torsos. Some kind of... I got axes here, swords. Man, look at this stuff. I mean, there's just so much to do just with this portion right here. Here you can see, got some of the... Oh, there's a screaming antelope, I believe that's called. And some of the survivors right here. And there, oh, there. Okay, there's the lion. The lion's paws. Okay, well, let's move on from this because we can look at this just forever, practically. I'll put all that back in there properly in a little bit. So, moving on. Here we've got, on this side, I believe it's like the settlement track or something like that, and steps or works you through step by step. Set up settlement, survivors return, gain endeavors, what you do during the settlement phase all the way through to develop. And what do we have over here? Innovations, principles, settlement locations, the innovation deck. And it continues on through to the end of the settlement phase. And then right here, what is this? The red spot. A special showdown. So after special showdown, return to step 5. Heal the survivors and remove their tokens. They do not count as returning survivors. So I think that's when a lot of times you'll have guys show up. I think the butcher is one of the guys. Shows up outside your settlement, so it's not like you're actually going out. Well, then here, I believe this is called the hunt track. Start over here and you're actually hunting your prey, the lion or the screaming antelope. Remove D5 resources from settlement storage. Man, this is really nice quality cardboard. And yeah, this is, I mean, just look at that. That is some crazy, creepy artwork right there, which is kind of the whole idea here. So here we've got a bunch of stuff to punch, looks like. All right, let's see here. We've got, what is this? Looks like another settlement track again, just to show you, yeah, everything that goes on with the settlement phase once again. This, I guess, just explains the priority target token. And as far as the cardboard goes, this is high quality as you would expect. And you can see how easy it punched out. It just has the little connections there, nothing's tearing. Yep. And you can see here it actually labels these are Endeavor tokens, these are reroll tokens, reminders. Nothing on the back, these are all blank on the back. Okay. I do think it kind of seems like a little bit of a wasted opportunity just to have the same symbol on both sides, unless there's a reason why you wouldn't have it that way. Maybe there's a reason. I could be, maybe there's a whole point to that. Obviously, I have not read the rules yet since the rule book is not available online. So just kind of watch some playthroughs. All right, here, all kinds of stuff again. Okay, now see, these are double-sided, so maybe there's a reason why the others aren't. So let's look here. So what is this? Got -1 strength or +1 strength. All right, so actually there's a reason why these are double-sided, because they're not the same thing. -1. Come on. There you go. -1 movement, +1 movement. So kind of obviously the same thing going on here. What else we got? We have accuracy, speed, luck, evasion, toughness, damage. No idea. Then a few more of the same thing over here. We've got red is black on that side, red, blue, green, and white lantern tokens. And then I'm not sure, maybe these are the bleed tokens, maybe. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, some kind of tree. The monster controller. If a player targets their survivor, they gain +1 insanity. In this game, insanity actually usually is a good thing as well. I think these are all different kind of terrains that you'll find on the board, I believe is what all this is. And they're all blank on the other side. Whoa. All right, so here is the massive board. All right, let's try to, so you can see over here we've got spaces for some cards, and then this is just huge. Let's see about the other side. Anything? Nope, the other side is blank. And something fell out whenever I opened the board up. Let's see if that was anything. So the AI discard, hit location discard, basic action, wound stack, trait or mood ×4, tokens. Okay. Now this, for whatever reason, is not the normal cardboard that you've seen so far. This is just, some kind of card stock. All right, so here we've got the survivor sheets where you keep track of each named survivor. All kinds of stuff on here. Okay, so we've got these different survival abilities that, that you actually have a stat called survival, and you have each survivor, I believe, starts gaining a certain amount of survival, and then they'll be able to use that to do these different abilities after they learn those abilities. And then here we've got movement, accuracy, all these different stats you're going to keep track of. Your insanity here works, as I understand it, is kind of like armor for your brain, basically. But if you are 3+ on insanity, you are insane. Here's your head, and you can see you can take heavy injuries in all these different locations: head, arms, body, waist, legs. And heavy injuries do significant damage to, and possibly crippling or even instant kill damage to a survivor. Here's the experience points that they will gain from going on hunts. and I'm not sure what the age is, but eventually that hunter or that survivor will retire. They can get weapon proficiencies. What else here? We've got courage. So I guess these are different abilities within that category. So stalwart, can't be knocked down by brain trauma or intimidate. So you can see you can develop different abilities and things to help defend yourself against the horrific monsters you'll be facing in the game. And then understanding, something like analyze, look at the top AI card and return it to the top of the deck. So then they can gain fighting arts, disorders, abilities, and impairments, and once per lifetime. Okay, and you see a whole bunch of these in here. What is this? Oh, these are okay. These are the survivor boards. Hold on, let me open this up. All right, so you can see you get 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is where you'll put the survivors' equipment, armor, weapons, all that kind of stuff. And at the start of your act, gain +1 move, +1 activation. During your act, you may do the following. So it gives you this kind of, rundown of everything you can do. And again, this is card stock. I mean, it's actually honestly a little bit on the flimsy side. I don't know why, other than space, I guess they couldn't have made these cardboard as well, but it is what it is. So here you have your settlement sheet, and as I believe you'll have just a single sheet per campaign. So one campaign will just use one of these. So then really realistically you have just a ton of these to go through for multiple campaigns and that sort of thing. And every game is a year. So you can see one campaign could last up to 36 years. And then there's these different events that happen in here. One called Endless Screams, Nemesis Encounter, the Butcher. That's one of those special showdowns, I believe, that I was telling you about a minute ago. So just a whole bunch of stuff in here. And obviously, during the blank ones, other stuff will be going on as well. Milestone story events, first child is born, and first death are both milestones, and then different things can happen from that. Innovations are kept track of here, principles down here, settlement locations, and the different quarries, White Lion, Screaming Antelope, Phoenix, and there's room for expansion stuff as well. Okay. Let's see, where are we going to next? Let's take a look at the dice. So these right here are the hit location dice. You can see head, hands, feet, waist, torso. I think that's all of them. And these are etched. So that's not a sticker. That I don't know if you can see that it's actually raised. That's etched in there. So really nice quality dice. These are nice. I like these a lot. Good quality. And then you've got these D8s, D10s. Gotta be D10s, right? Yeah, D10s. Okay. And of course have the lantern on there as the 10. So got a bunch of those. Then you got a white one as well. I believe that's when you're having to roll a D100. Essentially you roll these two. I think is how it works. I can't remember. Something like that. And then you got a red one down here. I'm not sure what that's for, but look at that. That's a pretty neat one right there. And these all have nice weight to them as well. Okay, now one thing I am not going to do on here is go through all of these cards because there's just so many cards in the game. And as I go through games, these are AI cards. As I go through games, which I'll be putting up more than just a few, more than just one gameplay up, you'll start seeing more and more of these and how they work. Those are some AI cards. And then here we've got some special hunt events, and that's called Stolen Dreams. So that's a survivor status. You cannot gain stolen dreams if you have 9+ courage and understanding. When you gain this, you are knocked down. You remain knocked down as long as you have this card. At the end of your act, if there are 2 or more of any combination of survivors or retinue adjacent to you, archive this card and stand. Then over here we've got the Butcher's Roar. Pick target. All non-death survivors. No target. Instead he'll menace, which I guess is something else that he does. We'll have to look that up. Intimidate all targets. Roll 1d10 for each target on a result, which obviously the targets are all the non-death targets, all non-death survivors. Roll d10 for each target on a result of 4+. Target suffers 1 brain damage per monster level and is knocked down. Here we've got another Butcher card. There's Menace. Turn the Butcher to face the closest survivor. This target suffers 1 brain damage per monster level. Back here we've got the Void Hood. First strike. Attacker gains -1 strength. Man, so much going on here. Here we've got some disorders, and on this side the King's Step Secret Fighting Art. Very cool. Oh man, okay, what do we got here? These are settlement events, and you know what? These I don't even want to go through either. I'll pull them out just so we can kind of see generally what they look like, but I don't want to go through them too much because a lot of this game is about just not, like being surprised by what comes up, not having it spoiled ahead of time. So not only for y'all's sake, but also for my own sake, I don't want to spoil too much of what's going on here. So, but you can see these are settlement events, and then you have this kind of a little story about what's going on, and then maybe a decision to be made or dice to roll or something like that. And you can see there's a whole bunch of them in here. As far as card quality, again, it's a little on the thin side maybe, but it's not like you're gonna be shuffling these, I don't believe. So at least not a whole lot if you do. And you can see there's quite a few in there. So just a lot to going on here. Let's see, where can we move to next? What are these? The Watcher. Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on here. So it's the Watcher, and oh, you know what? These have got to be Butcher, White Lion, Screaming Antelope. These are probably the dividers. That's what these are. So yeah, okay. So there we go. So we've got dividers for all the different cards. So that's good. That's very helpful. All right. So you can see the barber surgeon, the blacksmith, bonesmith. Lots of different locations in here to do all kinds of different things. It's where you can create all this different stuff. This is how you get different items, different abilities, I believe, even. And you have to earn these. You have to find the right stuff in order to build these locations in the first place. So, okay. Again, also cardstock, not cardboard, but not a huge issue with that because these, I'm very positive you don't shuffle these, so not a huge problem there. Over here we have just a ton of items, and again, I'm not going to go through all these because I don't really want to know all of what's available if I can help it. I want to kind of keep that. We'll show you that, like this blue symbol here, when you are there's ways for different items and weapons and armor to kind of sync up together and be more powerful, and it has to do with these colors. I don't know exactly how, but you can see here's another one. This one has blue and green on it, and then you have all these different this is an item, it's soluble and it's flammable. This is an item and other, and then like this over here, the King Spear is a weapon, melee, spear, heavy, two-handed. So, and this obviously has the red on there. And these look like more, these are going to be the dividers for these square cards. So that's what those are. And then finally, what is, we have, oh, the hard cover rule book. This is, how many pages? 235 pages. And obviously back here we've got a glossary. Now see, if it was 236 pages of triple column like this, then I'd be worried. But so much of this is the artwork that's in here as well. Just pages of this right here. But then you do have a lot of the triple column too. I mean, there's a lot going on here. So this is going to be a fun one to really get into and figure out. Okay, so there you go. That is everything that comes in the box here. So much stuff. The thing about this game that really excites me is that not only do you have the showdowns and the monster fights, the hunts, where you're fighting these monsters, fighting these really horrific creatures and monsters and bad guys, but then you also have the colony phase, settlement phase, where you are developing your civilization. And if I remember correctly from some of the playthroughs, when you start, you don't even have speech, and that's something you have to develop. So, I mean, there's just so much going on in this game. It's very exciting for me, and I can't wait to get into it. And I mean, you saw how big the rulebook is, so it's going to take a little bit to get started, I believe. Even though the prologue, I think, actually it walks you through that. And you may have also seen that I had to kind of cut through. There was a couple spots where I cut the video. That's because in the rulebook there is artwork, which is, there's some nudity in there, some very graphic violence in there as well. And that's where that 17 plus rating comes in for this game. So from what I can tell, most of that 17 plus content is in the rulebook. I don't believe there's a whole lot of it in terms of nudity or sexuality in the game itself, but that is something that you should definitely be aware of when you get it. Now, the game itself does have the graphic violence, if not in photograph or in drawings and artwork, then definitely in the descriptions of what happens to the survivors when certain monsters attack them and that sort of thing. So all that's something you should definitely keep in mind with this game. It's not one to be trying to bring the kids into or anything like that. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. And until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.